Hi loves, I hope you're all doing well. I hope that June treated you well and not too much has been exposed or, broken down with so many more planets motioning retrograde. But let me know in the comments down below what word kind of really summed up June for you. Okay, so obviously the style of this reading is not how I even imagined. Now that, my chart isn't so vigorously activated, I should be able to do normal horoscopes starting next month. So I hope that this podcast style reading is okay for you. So essentially, obviously, we're going to just walk through. I'm going to be walking you through the month of July, touching on the astrology, my own intuitive insights for the month for your personal sign. Check your sun, your moon, and your rising sign. When it comes to the astrology, I feel, well, it depends. I'm not going to tell you what to do. So definitely there is this feeling in July about feeling exposed, right? We're still in eclipse transition season, right? So we're still in this transitional phase as we're wrapping up and finalizing the karmic build-up of Cancer Capricorn while embarking upon the abundant and exuberance of Gemini Sagittarius eclipses, right? So whenever the nodes dealing with fate and karma reach those last few degrees of a sign and the beginning degrees of a sign, this is like potent energy, okay? And it really can give that vibe of exposure. It's like cracking an egg open to reveal the goo inside, right? Once Pandora's box has been opened, it's impossible to, shut it away. After all, you can't uncrack an egg, right? So the planetary vibes for this month. So as we begin, and I like to look at, sunrise and kind of like where the planets are to really get a tone or a notion as to what this month can bring. And July 1st, we have the sun in Cancer pressing up upon, Mercury Retrograde, okay? With the moon, the ruler of the sun, okay, the ruler of the chart, really, like the moon is in Scorpio and it's opposing Uranus. So when we're having Scorpio Uranus vibes, this is again a very expository vibe that we're experiencing, right? Mercury is still going to be retrograde until July 12th in the sign of Cancer, and when Mercury is retrograde in the sign of Cancer, we can find ourselves even exposing ourselves, exposing things from the past. Now usually in true Mercury fashion, it happens accidentally. The past gets brought up and then it gets dragged out into the open, and we discover things that we discover something and we kind of are faced with remembering it in a way that actualizes what really actually happened. So words like accountability are really strong for the month of July, especially, when we're looking at Saturn re-emerging back into the sign of Capricorn to join with Pluto and Jupiter for the new moon, okay, that's going to happen at the latter degrees of Cancer towards the end of the month. But Mercury is the messenger, okay? He travels between realms to get you the information that you need, okay? Mercury retrograde in Cancer unveils the part of you that needs to be heard, the part of you that needs to be healed, okay? So Cancer deals with things that, weigh heavy on our hearts. Emotions tend to be heightened, repressed memories resurface. There are memories and themes surrounding that sense of belonging, childhood, and the past, right? The inner child is almost throwing a tantrum with all of this energy and all of this, stuff that is being projected onto Cancer right now as we're wrapping up a big cycle. Things don't go to plan, and it can make you feel like a child again, feeling completely out of control, feeling controlless. And, the thing is, right, we have to remember Mars is in Aries, okay? This is crucial that we remember we can only control ourselves. We do not get to control the way that other people respond to us, our emotions, our actions, our thoughts, our feelings. We don't get to control that, okay? So July really is about owning up and showing up for yourself. It's about listening and hearing what you've not allowed, you've not allowed yourself to hear before. It's about owning all that you are, not just the parts of you that you feel are or will be deemed worthy. July can expose themes around parenthood and acknowledging the parts of us that are not necessarily our own, but have been imprinted upon us with, the generational patterns that are passed on through us from our parents and our grandparents and our great grandparents and those early life experiences, because when a baby comes in, a baby isn't born racist, a baby isn't born with hate in its heart, a baby isn't born selfish, a baby isn't born any of these things. A baby, for the first 7 years of your life, you learn and you imitate and you imprint like a psychic sponge, Cancer sponge, right? You kind of, you take on, the karmas and the stuff of, your parents, because they are your first understanding of the world. And, so it's kind of like your past influence forges who you are, but your responding actions or reactions, that's all you right now, right? Because I'm sure nobody listening to this is a child, right? So nobody is to blame for what you do but you. Okay, so with many planets that are in retrograde this month, okay, we're being forced to look back, way back, and to right and heal the wrongs that have been made and have been done, right? Because Cancer, Capricorn eclipses, they only come about every 18 years. And the cycle is even more significant because we have planets that have been together, they haven't been together for hundreds of years, and now they're coming back in. So it's bringing those karmas from that time period of when they were together last, which is big, which is why big stuff is happening right now. It has to happen. It has to feel uncomfortable. It has to feel these ickiness, right? It has to feel this way, uncomfortable, in order to pave the way for change, right? Because nothing new can be built on something old. You have to destroy it, right? You have to destroy what was once there in order to rebuild. Otherwise you have, you end up with root rot and stuff that will just it's just not good, right? So we can definitely clearly see, looking at the astrology, that there is an imbalance with power dynamics, right? Saturn, when it was in Aquarius, obviously it will enter back into Aquarius permanently in December again. But we, the people are realizing power lies within us all along, right? The people that we elect, into positions of power, fame, and influence are only there because we put them there. With support, with attention, with our money, with purchases. And as quick as we give our time, our energy, and our money, we can decide not to. And the only person that you can control, again, this is a Mars and Aries issue, is you, right? You need to not only speak your standard, but you need to live it. You need to also take action upon it. You can't hide from yourself right now. That is literally impossible with the planetary energy that's going on. And people around you, we're all seeing people for who they really are, and if you live in your authenticity, there's nothing to fear because you're not hiding from the shadow of yourself, right? You're not hiding from yourself. But those who live in the realm of make-believe and are consumed by the external, and there is no judgment. I don't say that with judgment in my heart, not at all. Everything happens for a reason. It's a part of your life experience and your life journey. But living in the Neptunian realms of social media, it can be a time where that mask will slip because literally everything is recorded. Everything, there are receipts, right? There's receipts for everything. And we're going to see an uprise in those receipts. When it comes to those things. And a lot of it is bringing the past back up. The past is being resurrected, with that Pluto looking at that new moon, a lot of those things are coming back to the surface. So as I said, okay, July has this element of a continual exposure. And I sense that the information, correspondences and miscommunications are still highly likely for the month of July, but the central vibe is in and surrounding change, okay? Sudden and unexpected, out of the box, shocking stuff coming to light this month. So whatever is revealed, it will alter everything for you. you know. So once you know something, once you learn something, it's like a domino effect in your brain, right? Everything starts to get rewired in a sense. So it can change your home, it can change your family dynamics, it can change your beliefs about someone or something. It can even change or bring about a change in about, you know, your careers or your ambitions as a result of the events that unfold in July. You might discover or learn or explore something that changes things for you. But honestly, like, what I'm seeing is a flip on the script that is your life, be it in love, home, work, or even yourself somehow. But I also have to add that whatever happens is somehow supposed to happen. There's a touch of destiny about it. The nodes are involved, destiny is upon us, right? So I know some of the things that I've already mentioned about July, if you've made it this far into the reading, they can seem a little bit triggering. I only tell you what I see and what I sense, and I assure you that there's a lot here that is aligning you to your purpose this month. Sometimes shocking events need to happen to trigger us into action, to make the change, to move and shake things up. And a lot of what I feel will build, and perhaps it might not even culminate until we get into November this year. But significant things are happening in July to inspire action and change. So, you know, whatever you wanted, you know, you might decide this month that you don't want it anymore. Mercury goes direct, and, you know, so, you know, if you have been making bad choices, falling back into past behaviors, habits, relationships, etc., right? You might, in the second part of this month, discover nothing's actually changed at all. And those old problems, they're all still there. Now, I do have a link in the information box below if you want to check out more about your personal Mercury Retrograde transit. But now let's move on to the month of July, right? If you would like me to, you know, look at all of this for you in a personal session, feel free to check out my services. I will also leave a link in the cards and in the information box below. Hi Pisces, suns, moons and rising signs. So for July, I've got quite a lot. Okay, quite a lot came through when I was channeling, but I also want to kind of incorporate a little bit of the astrology as well. But the theme that I get with you is that there is a focus this month around something blooming, like something flowering, something coming into fruition. I do feel like this could either connect to maybe perhaps your own personal health goals, or in and surrounding your everyday sort of work and life, so business, work. Something is coming to fruition when it comes to that. But the theme of, you know, this month more specifically, it feels like things are speeding up. It kind of feels like you're in this, you know, it's like a flower, right? It's just opening, right? You can't rush it. You can't tell it to like do this, right? It's like a seed. You can't tell a seed what to grow and become, right? And it just feels like this month there is this push, or this like things speeding up is what I'm getting. You know, the theme is around information, news, stuff coming in, something coming in that's going to bring something to fruition, but might actually ask you to kind of pick up the pace. It's kind of like everything was, you know, like when you rewind, like the image that I'm getting is that when you rewind like a tape, like an old VHS tape, and it's like, and then you press play and then it kind of like staggers and then speeds up. It kind of feels like that. Like that's the vibe that I get for Pisces. I do feel like this month will lead into further, you know, money and career opportunities, money opportunities in general. Like I feel like income is likely to increase as a result of something that perhaps you've been working on. So if you do fall under, like, I've been really focusing on my health, if you're that sort of a Pisces, then, you know, this could be one of the months where you might, you know, go for a checkup, visit the doctor, just really assess where you're at and where you want to be. Or you might have to kind of deal with someone who's not feeling so great, right? Pisces tends to fall like into that kind of category, like needing to step up, needing to help out when it comes to that. But like the main vibe, like the main thing that I'm getting for this month is, you know, you want to take your time with something, right? You just want to kind of smell the roses, right? The flowering sensation that I'm getting. But you can't. It's almost like things are changing, things are happening very quickly, and it's kind of asking you to almost like speed up. Like it's asking you to like, you know, hurry a little bit, like get on the ball a little bit. I just feel like, you know, this scenario could very well represent someone who is, you know, maybe doing something on your behalf behind the scenes that is going to aid you or give you that leg up, or is going to help you out in some way. It could also indicate like maybe like even like a connection to the past, like maybe like your past deeds, maybe someone older than you, maybe someone from the past is gonna kind of help you along in some way. I do feel like you should expect news about past investments, okay? Like maybe you're receiving something from work in a work type capacity that you've put in, like receiving benefits for something that, you know, you may have done in the past, or that you may have been working on, and now it's finally happening. It feels like, yeah, like I said, it's like something is coming to fruition for you. Essentially, July, for many Pisces, suns, moons, or rising signs, it feels like this is the beginning of a new phase of your life. And I do feel like more abundance, perhaps financial abundance, is definitely coming in. Now, obviously, like, as we're kind of blending, because June is very much blending in. It's a continuation to some capacity with situations that were happening back in June. So where like back in June, things kind of felt like you had to be, you know, things had to be put on hold. Past issues resurfacing. Maybe you yourself fell back into some bad habits. You know, there could have been, I don't know, like an old fear or an old threat that's coming up, whether it was literally coming up or it was just more of a psychological, mental type of a thing. But whatever it was that was coming up that was making you feel uneasy, it was a past issue that was returning in some regard. And I definitely feel like, you know, June, there could have been issues around security, be it emotional, financial, physical, past insecurities coming back in. But as we're getting into July now, you know, what you're doing right now is building and driving you towards a more stable future, which is fantastic. And I just feel like you'll be able to get back into a routine, or get into a routine that suits you, that helps you to still give you that freedom that you need, but also enables you to be more productive. Because I do feel like there's new doors opening up. It feels like more consistency is now going to be able to be established for you. And ultimately, you know, that can bring more opportunities, more financial security for you. I feel like there could be arrival of someone new coming into your life this month. For sure, like I'm definitely picking up on that. Either people coming into the home to fix it, to do something in regards to the home or the family or something like that. Or perhaps you find yourself, you know, finding something out about a member of your family, finding something out about the home itself, finding, like, I feel like there is this finding something out. You know, it feels like new news. And I would say, and I have to mention this, don't neglect the information that comes your way. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't think, oh, like that doesn't have, like that's not applied to me, that's not valid to me. Listen to the news that is being given to you. Listen to it, because it is going to prove to be important for you. Now, on a bit more of an annoyance side of things, I do get the impression that someone's going to constantly be trying to contact you this month, which could very well lead to a little bit of anxiety, stress, conflict. It's just going to piss you off, right? And it could be that, you know, someone says something about you and then everyone is chiming in and coming to tell you what they said, right? Don't shoot the messenger, okay? Try and practice a little bit of patience. It feels like you're like in this, like, I don't know, like the first impression I got was like this flower blooming. Like it's almost like you're ready to come back out and then everyone's like attacking you, but not attacking you in like a horrible way. It's just like everyone is kind of like, oh, quick, this, you know. It's like when someone, you know, goes on holiday and they come back to work and then they have like everyone demanding them or pressuring them into like, this needs to be done, this needs to be done, what about this, right? It just feels like this overload of, you know, people coming at you wanting to tell you the same thing, and it's almost like, yes, you already know this, you don't need to be reminded of it constantly, but it's just that kind of annoyance, right? Mercury's still retrograde until July the 12th. Again, I have put a link in the information box if you want to check out that specific transit and how it's influencing you depending upon your sun, your moon, your rising. But yeah, definitely you're going places. You are going places this month for sure. You're on your way, right? You're on your way. But you need to not fall into a Libra-like way of being. We will have Libra somewhere within our charts, okay? What I mean by that is don't let others bring you down. Libra is notorious for needing to be liked, right? They don't want to offend anyone. They just want to do their thing, you know. But at the same time, when people say stuff about them, it really affects them because they desire to be liked, right? And this month, I feel like don't let people bring you down, right? Saturn has re-emerged back into, you know, your 11th house, I believe. Your 11th house. And, you know, this 2.5 year transit, I mean, you've had Pluto here for a while, but you've also had the South Node here, and the South Node's now leaving, and Saturn's just dipping its toes back in just for the next sort of 6 months or so. You know, it is just a reaffirming of your standard, a reaffirming of your community, a reaffirming of where you fit in, like-minded people. It is just about reestablishing some sort of boundaries for yourself, okay? And remember that a ship can only sink if it lets the water, if it allows the water inside of the ship, right? So don't let people like bring you down is what I'm trying to say. I do feel like you're likely to get an offer or an invitation this month. Something feels like it's coming full circle. It feels like you're ready to begin, like an offer's coming your way. Like that is something I very much get. Now obviously July is seeding for where you're going to go for the next few months, and I feel like July is like the beginning. It's like the blooming, it's like the flower opening, and so something that you've started or that you've been working on will now begin to mature. It's going to mature over the next few months and it's going to bloom, okay? It will bloom. So I definitely feel like, you know, where it is that you're heading, like the direction that July is, you know, pushing you towards, it's pushing you into solidifying a commitment which will and can stabilize things for you, both from a financial point of view and in another capacity as well. It feels like July is kind of like the flowering or the opening up of a new idea coming to life. It feels like that this is a month of a new beginning. Now, below the surface, you know, I definitely feel like you should expect, you know, we've still got all of this retrograde energy going on, right? So you can probably still expect arguments, confrontations within the home, okay? Maybe there's going to be a few disagreements. Maybe people are going to be a little bit more critical of your home, your lifestyle, or like the family dynamics to a certain capacity, because obviously like let me see, so 12, 11, 10, yes, so like the South Node is moving through the 10th house now, and you have the North Node moving into that 4th house point, and it is triggering and it is shaking some stuff up to evolve it, to push it, to help you to work through certain things, right? So yeah, there could be just a little bit more craziness happening in the home that can add a little bit of stress and tension when it comes to the things that you're trying to, you know, build for yourself. But ultimately, you know, moving forward, you know, the next few months from July, I definitely feel like a commitment or a contract that you make has the capacity to bring in more money. So this is definitely, I feel like this is a good month, Pisces. Like, I do feel like this is a good month. There's a lot around you. I just feel like there's old issues, like, I mean, we're seeing it everywhere, right? And I coined, you know, June into July, like the continuation period, as like exposure. And Pisces tends to not like exposure, right? They might you know, they're like fish. Okay, they might dip their heads out of the water for a second, but then they're straight back in, right? Because they don't want to like get attached with that stuff. Anyway, thank you so much. If you would like a personal reading, feel free to check out my services. All links are in the information box below. I'm wishing you a fantastic July, and I do apologize for the lateness of getting this out. It's something that I'm working on, and I will see you in another video. Bye.